Good afternoon. It is Sunday, January 23rd, 3:48 p.m. Just a bit after Purdue has handily defeated Northwestern 80-60. The score got a bit inflated there at the end. Eric Hunter hit a three-pointer with just a few seconds left as Purdue's shot clock was expiring, and I think he just wanted to get another couple points on the board. But it was Eric Hunter's birthday. Happy birthday, Eric! And he played a pretty damn good game. He was solid. He was doing what he does when he is really helping the team hum. It comes this year and generally the last two seasons when he's looking to drive the ball. He did a really good job there. And Purdue overall had a pretty solid game. Excuse the noise in the background if you can hear it. I don't know what's picking up, but my family's playing dominoes in the other room, and I'm not playing dominoes. Anyway, so Purdue improves to 16-3. Got about 11 games. I think exactly 11 games left until the Big Ten tournament. I'm going to talk a little bit, I think, this week. I'm going to do a post about what the prognosis is for the season. I think Purdue has a chance to string together some wins, but the next game is obviously going to be a handful at Iowa. Iowa, of course, extended their trapping zone on Purdue at Mackey, and Purdue really, really struggled. So we'll see how well these point guards can handle that, because that's going to be a test. I would guarantee Fran is going to try to do the same thing again because it was so effective. My gut tells me if a team does this on Purdue and Purdue is ready, Purdue could just unleash hell and get back on track offensively. Neat stat, Purdue is 14-0 on the season, maybe 15-0 now. When they score over 70 points, of course they did it, scoring 80. And they did it on the back of the main guy was Sasha Stefanovic. He went 6 for 10 from three. And he was hitting them on curls going right and left. Just looked really comfortable shooting the ball. He was 4 for 4 from free throw line. He didn't shoot another field goal. It was only 3-pointers that Sasha was shooting. A solid day. He had 2 rebounds on top of the 22 points, 3 assists, which I love seeing Sasha get involved in the offense that way. It's always good for this Purdue team when he's getting his teammates involved. And let's see, only 1 turnover. So great day for Sasha. Mason Gillis, another solid game, 7 points, 4 assists. And yeah, he didn't shoot great from 3, which is pretty unusual for him because he's been shooting it so darn well this season. He was only 1 for 4 from deep. Isaiah Thompson was 2 for 6 from 3. He had 8 points. He played a pretty good game, a little bit of a comeback game, but he missed a couple open threes. And I think part of the thing that made Purdue's offense hum so well early in the season was when somebody would drive and draw in the defense, kicking it out to Thompson just making him pay was a huge part of Purdue's offense. I'll keep talking about this game 1 second, but let me thank our sponsors. Thanks to Martin Vintage. Thanks to Gridiron Metalworks and AJ's. Appreciate these guys, and they help make the show, the wrap up, the website possible. Cheers to you guys. But on top of those guys, of course, Trey Williams looked like himself a little bit more today. He played 19 minutes, 12 points, but 10 boards, and a couple of them, if you watch the entire game, he was really attacking the glass, using his advantage of his reach more than anything, just going up to the high point where he could reach it and get the ball there. And it made Purdue's offense go. He had a couple where he rebounded the ball, turn, fire, and Purdue getting kind of a semi-transition offense. Northwestern made it interesting for Purdue a couple times. They kind of shrunk the lead down a couple times, but really for most of the game, Purdue was in cruise control. Purdue played very well. Edey played well, 12 points, 10 boards, 2 assists. Let's see, free throws, he was 0 for 2. So he's got an issue he's got to fix. He's got to figure out, because this is something that's totally between the ears. He's been a good free throw shooter for much of his career, for the 2 years he's been at Purdue. And he is not doing well there right now, and that's a big part of his game. So the birthday boy, Eric Hunter, came off the bench, 27 minutes, so played significant action. The dearth of having Jaden Ivey's minutes there, somebody had to fill him. Eric Hunter came off the bench because Newman started the game, but Eric scored 10 points, had 5 assists, 2 steals, 2 boards, and just 1 turnover. pretty darn good. Versus IU, Purdue turned the ball over 12 times. Not a great performance. IU actually only turned the ball over 3 times. So Purdue's defense was bad and their offense was bad. Today, they turn over the ball 9 times, and Northwestern turns it over 10. That's really not the reason Purdue beat them. Purdue just was better than them at all positions. It looked like even guys like Boo Buie and Chase Audige didn't couldn't do much. Usually, Boo Buie and Audige both kind of go off on Purdue. Audige was injured in the game. I think he rolled his ankle. He should be okay. One of the weirdest plays of the game, if you watch the game, was very bizarre. Audige rolls his ankle. I think he came down on Edie's foot, if I remember correctly, going for a rebound, or somebody's foot. Ball goes the other way. Purdue's on transition. Somebody shoots it up. Edie pulls down a rebound, just shoots in the lane, pulls down a rebound, and the ref blows his whistle with Edie with the ball under the basket. And the ref called the play dead so someone could tend to Audige. Very weird. Just an odd play. But Northwestern is they're 9-8 team. Again, they're not going to go to the tournament. They're in that position again. Chris Collins has been there now 9 seasons. It's kind of testing what Northwestern is made of, the athletic department is made of, because they're really stuck, it looks like to me. And they're a talented team. I think Nance could join his brother in the pros here in a year. He's got good length. He can shoot the ball. He can create pretty well. Audige is solid. Bowie's solid. Even Barron is good at times. I mean, he had 9 points today. Northwestern's not an awful team, talent-wise, but they're not a good team, really, when it comes to playing and matching up with the Big Ten. Every year, they tend to pad their stats and pad their record in the pre-con, and this year's no different. They're 2-6 in conference. Purdue is now 5-3 in conference. Purdue is tied in a bit of a log jam in 3rd place. Illinois has dropped 2 straight after a concussion to Cockburn. They're struggling officially. They did not. I think Maryland beat them. So the Big Ten is tightening up a little bit. Purdue is still very much in the race. I don't really care about that. I've said that. I'll say it again. It's all about the seeding for me. And if Purdue happens to win a Big Ten title, as they are on the way to 1 or 2 seed, that'd be excellent. But it seems to me Purdue's playing with fire. I keep saying this with some of these losses. Purdue has tougher games ahead than the games that they've lost. Wisconsin's a legit loss, but losing a rivalry game, it's going to happen. Obviously, that'll happen from time to time. But they got at Iowa, and then you've got Ohio State, which is always tough for Purdue, and then at Minnesota, who Minnesota's a surprise, they're good, versus Michigan, then Illinois at Mackey. So they're in a good position, but they're in a position where they still have so much to improve. My gut tells me that Purdue's going to hit their stride a bit here in the next few weeks. As if Ivy can get healthy before Iowa and Purdue can beat Iowa, I think Purdue could start feeling some momentum. The problem with this team, over and over and over, we can point at defensive problems, we can point at free throw shooting, but I think they all come back to the same thing. Painter pointed at this as a problem this team has, and that is just kind of mental toughness and consistency. They're kind of a fun-loving bunch. They seem to be a good-natured group of guys that like each other. I think Ray Davis talked about this on his Instagram feed or on his podcast, that this is a team that gets along well. So the chemistry is good. So they've got that thing going. They obviously have a ton of skill. Guys can do, you have guys at every position that can score. You have guys that have potential to be good defenders with good length, decent athleticism. But the mental letdowns by this team are something they just got to get rid of. If they could get rid of that, and you could see them take every game like it's important and take every game like they need to bust their ass and jump on a team and not let other teams get out in front of them, or like they did versus IU, where they kind of cushioned in the first half, gave them a 10-point lead in the first half, to have to fight and claw back. Who knows? If this team still has tremendous amount of potential. I've been having discussions with people on Twitter. Do you still believe this team is a Final Four contender? I mean, sure, why not? But my perspective has been shifted thanks to these losses. I'm not down in the dumps. I don't think the team's horrible. I think they're a solid team. I think they're a good team with a lot of good parts. Like, they have all the parts you need to make a run. But at the same time, they do have issues that they have to get better. And I think if Painter's previous seasons are any indicator, Purdue will do something special in February like they always do. Purdue is good in February. Now, can they be good in February and then really good in March, April? That's the dream. And can they peak during the NCAA tournament? That's the brass ring. So, Max, thanks for checking in. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, good game though. Let's see. He says, who do we have up next? Max, you joined late because I already told you this, but Purdue plays at Iowa next. And let's see, that game is on the 27th, which is 4 days from now. So they've got a little bit of time to continue to work and to get Ivy healthy. More importantly than anything, they're going to need him. The brothers on Iowa, man, they can score points in bunches. So Purdue's going to need to play defense and going to need to be able to handle that trap and that pressure. If they can do that, big things can happen. Purdue shoots the ball well from percentage standpoint for some reason in Iowa. I don't know why. So I could see Purdue playing really well, and Sasha's feeling better. It's good to see him bust out of that little funk he was in. Trey nearly is pulling out of the funk that he's been in, which is excellent news. So if they could get a little rhythm and start playing like every game matters, like Painter's been saying, every win in the Big Ten matters. It's important. It's hard to get victories in the Big Ten. So it's there's great potential in this season still to do something special, and they are in the catbird seat to do that. It's just the question: are they mentally strong enough to do that and put all the parts together that they have? So we'll see. Stay tuned. I'll be here talking about the team like you guys know I love to, and I hope you can join me from time to time. Maybe I'll do some I might do just a middle of the day quick cast here, just kind of assessing. We're just past the midpoint of the season, talking about the highs and lows right now and what the prognosis is in the long term for the season. What I see is the most important thing. Brandon Newman, by the way, he starts today. He did not play well. In fact, like one of his first threes, he almost airballed it. Let's see. I don't know how many points he finished with. I'll check on that right now. Newman finishes with no points. No points he was 0 for 5 from 3. It's tough. It's a bit confusing just because it's a guy that just looked like, especially offensively, had so many skills. He's got good length, solid athleticism, and he's not there right now. And so I think there's a chance for him to put it together. And if you can have him get back together, Caleb First played better today. He played, I think in the first half alone, he had 7 points and 3 boards. There's real chance for Purdue to do something special, and Caleb First is starting to look healthy again, which is good since the COVID really knocked him down a bit. So if they can do that, have some serious depth there, even for foul trouble, to be able to do some things, they can get back to the rhythm we saw in the beginning of the season. Let's not forget this offense. Hamilton from Florida State said it's one of the best offenses he's ever seen. Guy's been coaching forever, and so when a coach like that starts saying things like that, guys like me, who I'm tough to get on board, on how special a team or a season is. When I heard that made me think, wow, if this guy says that, there's something to this. It's not just an opinion based on my eyes and what I'm seeing, but this Purdue team is special. And that was coming off of the Villanova and North Carolina victories. Turns out, like I said, North Carolina's not that good. Villanova's getting better, so that looks better. And even Florida State has had a couple good wins recently, so that helps Purdue a lot, too, in the grand scheme of things, for seeding and all that. But let's hope that they can figure it out on offense and keep up the defensive effort. Defensive effort was good again today. They were defending shots. They were doing a better job rotating. Guys were better guarding the dribble. All the things you want to see. So they just got to keep getting better. And it has to be like notable improvement, because if they don't, they're going to get eaten up by teams that have scores. So it's that simple. Thanks for tuning in again. Hope you have a great day. God bless you. Talk to you later this week. We'll see you. Hammer down.